back locked into it as usual, man. Yo, so Atlantic Records finesses YoungBoy NBA out of 300 million, or they use him for, you know, accumulating 300 million. I don't even know. Yo, I feel like 2026 moving forward, these kind of titles are, you know, getting pretty obvious to, you know, damn near everybody. The fact that these kind of situations are a scam. Like, I'm gonna say it, they're a scam in 2020. Like, you go into it knowing that you're getting into, you know, some degenerate shit, for real. Like, depending on how shit goes for you and all of that, right? And I guess we're here breaking down YoungBoy's version of this kind of situation. You know, let's hop into it.
Me, I call y'all flukes, age of Aquarians, drooling for the star sign juice. It ain't no level too high up, yeah, that we can't reach with our eyes closed, like no cap. Infinite water deep dive, yeah. Pull out for your purchase. Tell you shit, stick that shit for young ladies drunk on shit.
Fuck. Oh, muted again. Shit. Yo. Nah, as I was saying, before I realized it, like, this thing, I'm gonna get it right though. I'm gonna fucking get it right though. Don't get it twisted. Listen to me. Oh shit. Now we gonna get it right. Fuck that. I just realized I spoke without the mic. But you know what I'm saying? Before, I would have gotten that, I think maybe 15 minutes down the line, bro. 10 minutes down the line, I would have been discouraged the fuck out of this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I would have gotten so discouraged out of carrying on with the thing. It wouldn't have been the same. You know what I'm saying? But I got it. I got it. We good. Feel me? Damn, why are all my sound bites open? That was weird, right? Okay, so we gather here today, folks. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me introduce the whole little thing. I know we doing the intro to these kind of things, but you know, it's like a two-step verification type of process, right? Gotta intro it like twice. How Atlantic Records finessed YoungBoy NBA out of 300 million. As I said, man, if it doesn't dawn on you the fact that, you know, the scammy nature of these kind of situations right here, you know what I'm saying? Especially where a major label is involved, signing some new talent and shit like that. Well, NBA is not new, while YoungBoy NBA is not new. I'm saying he been out here for a minute. But yeah, I guess like this is his version of like us seeing how a major label fucked him in the no Vaseline. Let's do it, right? Let's go.
Since 1974, Atlantic Records has been one of the biggest music labels that's ever operated. Given the experience they have, they know how to finesse and trick young artists.
Tell me about it.
YoungBoy, a kid from one of America's most dangerous cities at 17, signed what looks like a life-changing record deal worth millions. Fast forward 5 years, and that same artist has generated over $300 million in revenue for his label while barely seeing a fraction of it himself.
NBA YoungBoy, why do they tell that young man? And I'm getting from the source, like the guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking to even sometimes their lawyers.
When he dared to speak out, calling his own record deal slavery, the industry machine turned against him. And
shit, he pulled a Prince. He legit pulled a Prince. Remember when Prince painted slave here? Right? I feel like that's the only thing left for YoungBoy to do as well. Right? I mean, as I said, bro, like 2026 moving forward, it should be obvious to damn near everybody. Because since the time of Prince, and if y'all know Prince, y'all know, like he's a legend of old, right? So if he just like had this kind of temperature towards like major label energy, what more now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Made an example out of him.
I'm just pointing out the consistency, right?
This isn't just another sob story about a rapper getting a bad deal.
This
is about NBA YoungBoy, one of the most streamed artists in hip-hop history, and how Atlantic Records systematically...
And I feel like, wait, one more pause before we really get into it. I feel like the one thing that made it interesting for me to see this title and be like, you know what, I'm lining it up for the reaction, is because YoungBoy is a favorite artist, bro. Like this guy, like you know, the amount of times that he's streamed, you wouldn't think he's going through this kind of shit, right? But I guess, you know what I'm saying, it gets the best of them, man. It gets the best of people. You know what I mean? And that's the scary part.
trapped,
So let's see this.
exploited, and then tried to destroy his career when he refused to stay quiet about their predatory practices.
Why?
We're talking about a young man who should be worth hundreds of millions based on his streaming numbers alone.
Well, he is. It's just it was not for himself, right?
Why did Atlantic basically tell YoungBoy, listen, after 22 albums that you dropped in a time period where we only contracted you to do five,
Yeah.
hey, we'll negotiate and give you this amount of money, but we ain't giving you a mother part of your masters back.
But instead found himself fighting for basic financial freedom while corporate executives got rich off his pain. And when he finally broke free, Atlantic offered him $25 million to come back, proving they knew exactly how much they had been stealing from him all along.
And actually knowing his value, you know what I'm saying, and whether or not he spotted his own value, that's a separate question, right?
At the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how major record labels operate their modern-day plantation system, why speaking truth to power in the music industry can get you blacklisted faster than you can say streaming royalties, and
Tell
how
me about
one
it.
artist's refusal to be silenced is changing the entire game for future generations.
Changing the entire game? Okay then, break it down then.
When YoungBoy started, he's 17, he's 22 now. You don't understand what the fuck going on. He's just putting out music. It took a team to be around him. Now he just started, and that's why he loves Birdman so much, even though, you know.
So if you want to understand the real economics behind those
Let's do it.
million-dollar record deals you see in the headlines,
Let's
if
do
you
it.
want to know why your favorite artists stay broke while their labels get rich, and if you want to see how the music industry's power structure is finally starting to crack, you need to stick around until the very end of this documentary.
Let's see,
What's
man.
good? It's your boy Hip Hop History, and today we're diving into one of the most important stories in modern hip hop.
Good to meet you, brother. To meet you, brother. Nah, I don't know why I did that. My
Not
fault.
just because of what happened, but because of
It's
what
the
it
wine.
reveals
It's the
about how
wine.
this entire industry really works. NBA YoungBoy's story matters because he did something most artists are too afraid to do. He pulled back the curtain and showed everyone exactly how the machine operates.
Nice.
And for that act of transparency, he paid a price that reveals just how ruthless this industry can be when
What's that?
artists step out of line.
What's that?
NBA YoungBoy was an artist who got a suspended 10-year sentence for being in a drive-by. He's
Yep.
not thinking about, whoa, this is what a music contract looks like. This is how I should do it.
Oh, shit,
no,
yeah.
he's just, yo, I'm in here.
Yeah, let's
Kentrell
talk about it.
Deshaun Gaulden was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in 1990.
Shit, he in 99? So what, 2026, he's turning what? 27? And this nigga got 7 kids? Yo, more than that? Alright, let's hear about it.
If you're not familiar with Baton Rouge, this is consistently ranked as one of the most dangerous cities in America.
Are you serious?
We're talking about a place where the murder rate is nearly 10 times the national average, where poverty isn't just a statistic, it's a way of life. YoungBoy's childhood was marked by instability from day one.
Yep.
His father was sentenced to 55 years in prison when
55.
Kentrell was just a baby. His mother struggled with addiction issues, leaving him to be raised primarily by his grandmother. By elementary school, he was already moving between different family members' homes, never having that stable foundation most kids take for granted. YoungBoy wasn't just poor, he was survival mode poor.
They smile up in my face, but they don't know what I've been through. Whole lot of nights I went to sleep and I ain't had no food. Thanks to my mom and my grandfather, I always had a roof over my head.
We're talking
Shout
about
out,
a
shout
kid who
out.
sometimes didn't know where his next meal was coming from, who watched his neighborhood get consumed by violence, who
Yeah.
saw friends and family members either end up dead or locked up before they turned 20. In Baton Rouge's north side.
Demons, boy. Land of the demons, dog. You know when I realized that I'm a demon myself? No, not in that strange ass way. Like, you know when I realized that I'm a demon myself? Is when I realized that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, first of all, shout out to this video, right? Hip Hop History, shout out to you, brother. For actually, you know what I'm saying, showing me the resonance that I got with this brother right here. Like, me myself, bro, like, I grew up, you know what I'm saying, survival mode type. You could say up to this day. But right now, there's more of a responsibility for me to get myself out of there, especially now that I understand myself a little bit better. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a responsibility for me to get myself out of those kind of situations in the right way. You understand what I'm saying? So, shout out to this brother. I resonate with this kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? And I realized that, yo, it's literally a land of demons when, you know what I'm saying, you realize from a very young age that you have nobody to depend on but yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So for the most part, I kind of understand like his energy. Like he's a guy that has a lot of rage. Is what I realized, you know what I'm saying, from YoungBoy NBA. He's got a whole lot of rage. You should like see it in his performances, in his live performances, in his studio performances when he records the music. You hear it in his vocal deliveries and shit like that. Like it's like rage, like yo, get me out this cage type rage, like, you know what I'm saying? But now you gotta question shit on, you know, at a deeper level when these kind of things persist even beyond a certain age. This man is you know, pushing 30. He's closer to 30 now, right? 2026, he's finna turn 27 if he's not, you know, yet 27. I mean, we are 18 days into 2026, so pretty early days. You know what I'm saying, unless his birthday done hit in one of these 18 days, he's already 27, he's pushing 30, and he still sounds like this, bruh. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep. I mean, it's you know, it's adorable when a young motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, can like kind of transmute the rage kind of energy into, you know, something artistic like music. You feel me? Inspiring like his own audience that may be going through similar shit, as to how he deals with it, and then how they can now in turn deal with it. That's provided if the music is like positive for the most part, right? Because more often than not, man, you know what I'm saying, homie music fucking toxic, bro. And I can get why. That's why I'm like, yo, I can get why. But I mean, you know, he got some like shit where you can like reflect on and just like maybe think about your kind of situations differently based off of just like his own experiences that he paints in the music. You know what I'm saying? So it's not all bad. Like, he's not all bad. You feel me? In terms of his
there
music,
are essentially three paths for young black men:
what's that?
Sports, music,
or streets.
Or the streets.
Yeah. Well, typical paths for a young black man.
Kid who wasn't built for athletics, music became his life.
There are alternative paths that a lot of black young men have like undergone and have proved to just like, you know, make them turn out okay in life. You feel me? It's just those three paths are the typical paths. You know what I'm saying?
He started writing rhymes as a way to process the trauma he was experiencing daily.
Right.
By age 14, YoungBoy had dropped out of school.
Are you still in school?
Nope.
Dropped out?
Oh.
Yep. I'm chasing. I got a dream to chase.
He was trying to help support
Yo,
his
but YoungBoy as a kid, oh, that nigga was easy to doubt, bro. You see that his face is like kind of mischievous. You can see the mischief in his eyes, man. Come on. You would easily doubt that this motherfucker might make it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
family, navigating a dangerous environment where going to school could literally get you killed.
Yeah, I heard that.
And already showing serious talent as a rapper. The streets called, and YoungBoy got caught up in some of this lifestyle, which led to him being placed in a detention center when he was just 15. While locked up, he didn't sit around feeling sorry for himself.
What did he do?
He used that time to focus entirely on his music, writing constantly and building the incredible work ethic that would later make him one of the most prolific artists in hip-hop.
Yeah.
When he got out, he was more determined than ever to make music his way out of poverty. He started recording in makeshift studios, often using basic equipment in friends' bedrooms.
That's where it all starts. Usually, yes, that's where it all starts. Like I guarantee you, like 99% of people who are even great today, they all start with basic material. So you know what I'm saying. This is just like a young sidebar to be like, yo, if you find yourself in that kind of position, man, come on, man. It's not, you know what I'm saying. You still like literally. That's where it starts. That's one of the the main ingredients of, like, you know what I'm saying, great ones. You feel me? Chosen
The
ones.
quality wasn't professional, but
What
the
was
raw emotion and authenticity in his voice was undeniable.
Yeah.
His early mixtapes, Life Before Fame and Mind of a Menace, weren't just music releases, they were audio documentaries of life in one of America's most forgotten communities.
Right.
YoungBoy was rapping about real experiences with emotional honesty that was rare even in hip-hop.
Yeah.
By 2016, his YouTube numbers were climbing. Songs like 38 Baby and Untouchable were getting hundreds of thousands of views organically.
Yeah.
This wasn't manufactured hype. This was genuine grassroots support from fans who connected with his story.
Nice one.
But here's the thing about being an independent artist
Was
from
it?
Baton Rouge.
Where is it?
You can have all the talent in the world, but without industry connections, proper distribution, and
shit.
marketing budgets, there's a ceiling to how far you can go.
There you go, boys. There you go. I feel like if you didn't catch the answer right there, you'll never catch it. Connections, knowing the proper people, you know what I'm saying, and just like building like the right motion off of those two things, off of the connections of people who prior were there and happened to give you a hand up. You know what I'm saying? Not up, but like give you like one of those booster arms. You know what I'm saying? Just to boost your ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Without that, sorry, you like, or at least don't expect the kind of result that YoungBoy had. You feel me? YoungBoy, yeah, like YoungBoy being the person that he is. You know what I'm saying? He's damn near a 1%er. Like in what he achieved, considering everything, considering his environment, background, capabilities, and things like that. But yes, there were these qualities that actually helped him out with that, right? His work ethic, his energy, his stubbornness, because you got to be stubborn to like stubbornness can be transmuted into resilience. It can, you know what I'm saying, the positive version of it just manifests into like being resilient and shit like that, right? So I guess those were some of the things that worked for this boy, right? For YoungBoy, you know what I'm saying?
YoungBoy was hitting that ceiling by early 2017.
Right.
That's when the vultures started circling. Record labels began reaching out, promising him the world, offering amounts of money that seemed impossible to a kid who had grown up with nothing. Leading the charge was ALTANTIC Records, one of the most powerful labels in the industry. To a 17-year-old kid from Baton Rouge who had been sleeping on couches and wondering where his next meal was coming from, ALTANTIC's offer must have looked like divine intervention. ALTANTIC Records isn't just a music company. They're a subsidiary of Warner Music Group, one of the big three record label conglomerates that control the majority of the global music industry. We're talking about a corporation with billions in revenue, teams of lawyers, and decades of experience in structuring deals that look generous on the surface but are designed to keep artists in debt indefinitely. The ALTANTIC playbook for signing street rappers,
like a fucking student debt. It's like that student debt system.
Is formulaic. First, they identify artists who are already building momentum independently.
I don't like to see a lot of internet stuff.
What you like to see?
Reducing their risk because they're not gambling on unproven talent. Second, they approach these artists at their most vulnerable moments.
Exactly. Boys, here's another answer to y'all. You know what I'm saying? To y'all maybe curious minds. Especially if you're doing homework before jumping into this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just know that if you ain't got no story, you know what I'm saying, or underlying vulnerability about you, these motherfuckers cannot care about you. They need some sort of vulnerability to feed off of. Facts.
They present contracts that are deliberately complex and overwhelming.
Right.
When ALTANTIC approached NBA...
And they know you black. You feel what I'm saying? They know you're a young black man. You don't give no fucks about no reading, nigga. They gonna give you a 57-page fucking contract, bruh. They know you ain't gonna read a damn page, buddy. Oh, these motherfuckers are cold. These motherfuckers are cold. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's damn near a crime against humanity, dog. Facts. That's a crime against humanity. You're betting on the fact that this nigga cannot read. He won't go through all the contracts, so he will not catch everything that is, you know, obligated from him. I don't know if that don't scare y'all, bro. I don't know. Y'all made it like y'all cyborgs.
YoungBoy
got no
in
hearts.
2017, they followed this playbook perfectly.
Nice.
Here was a 17-year-old kid who had proven he could create music that connected with audiences,
Right.
who was dealing with legal issues requiring expensive representation, and
Right.
who was supporting multiple family members on inconsistent income. The offer they presented was reportedly worth several $1 million. To put that in perspective, that's more money than most people in Baton Rouge see in their entire lifetime.
Exactly.
For a teenager who had been worried about basic survival, this seemed like winning the lottery. But here's where the finesse begins.
Where?
That several $1 million wasn't actually cash.
What was it?
It was an advance against future earnings.
Fuck
Essentially
that.
a loan that YoungBoy would have to pay back
It came about. But that ain't
shit.
actually just mine.
through his music sales, streaming revenue, and
Yep.
touring income. The contract structure gave him around 15 to 20% of his music royalties, with Atlantic keeping 80 to 85%. Atlantic also controlled his publishing, distribution, marketing budget, and essentially every aspect of his career. Let me break down the real math. Over his Atlantic contract, NBA YoungBoy generated billions of streams. His YouTube channel alone accumulated over 10 billion views. Industry experts estimate that an artist of his caliber should be earning 3 to 5 cents per stream, with total streams.
I wouldn't blame it on the industry. It's all about how you go about it, and I'm not that strong.
What you mean?
Probably $45 to $75 million. Add touring, merchandise, and publishing, and the total value easily exceeds $300 million. Yet YoungBoy was struggling financially throughout most of his Atlantic tenure.
Yeah.
How? Every dollar Atlantic spent on him, studio time, music videos, marketing campaigns,
what else?
Was charged against his account. He had to recoup all expenses before seeing additional money beyond his initial advance. Studio time that cost independent artists hundreds became thousands charged to his account.
Oh my god, bro. That's why, like, yo, I don't know if maybe like labels, they notice when you probably, I don't know if they probably notice when you have your own equipment, you know what I'm saying, and then you start declining their offers to go to the studio that they offer. You feel what I'm saying, dude? Because, like, what the fuck? Like, if you start, you know, what's the word I'm looking for, man? If you start declining their offers to go to the studio that they offer, based off of the fact that maybe you have your own equipment and you can make shit, you know what I'm saying? Whoever it is that you use, maybe you do it yourself, you know what I'm saying? To make your sound, like, compete within the market, you know what I'm saying? Because we do have those gems, those couple of gems in the game where it's like, yo, these guys that can make a sound fucking crispy, dog. Mad professional, mad competitive. And you ask those motherfuckers, like, how they do it. You know what I'm saying? They did it in their room, nigga. You feel me? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all think, leave this in the comments, right? Do y'all think YoungBoy's situation would have turned out differently had he been the type of guy who handled his own recording, right? The raw recording, mixing, at least outsource the mastering, you know what I mean? That's a much smarter way of going about shit. Outsource the master. But even that, like, you can, like, if you can mix something really good, it's easier to master the shit. Now imagine if you can, like, handle those things yourself, right? Imagine how much of those, you know, outsourced recording facility experiences that you would have saved on. You know what I'm saying? You would have saved a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Videos that independent.
I feel like it would have. Oh fuck. Okay, they finessed 300 million. They probably would have finessed at least a young 2.8. No. 2.2 million to 1.8 million instead of 3. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the studio time and shit.
Shot for
at least you know what I'm saying, he would have saved on studio time, and maybe, you know what I mean, they would have had to expect all this recuperation from shit like, yeah, the music videos, yeah, the marketing, promotion, blah blah blah. But you know what I'm saying, 2026 moving forward, the only smarter thing to get into is literally maybe production deals. But even that, like, yo, technology has made shit so, yo, shout out to fucking AI, dog. That shit can cook up the most beautiful type beats. Like, come on, bro, just get it from AI yourself, though. Don't assign a label to go on AI for you to make me. No, yourself. So production deals, bro, that shit is fucking out the window. Facts. By now, 2026, like, that shit gotta be out the window. Facts. Like, I'm sorry. What else are we looking at? Okay, recording deals, that's been, like, fuck that. That's been, like, I don't even know if a label still offers this. Bro, like, get the fuck out of here. Recording deals. That's why I'm like, yo, it's easier for artists to record, you know, by themselves. Look at that artist, D4VD. Right? I mean, yeah, whatever. Beyond the whole, yeah, scandal, that guy, yo. Anything attached to him, if the allegations are true, yeah, we fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But that guy, you know, started recording his own independent shit from having you know, being gate kept outside of using already existing music on his gameplays. He was like, man, fuck it, I'll record my shit in my own closet. Guess what? That nigga was a billion stream artist, bruh. Now imagine like he went crazy, and he handled all the recording himself. That's what I'm saying. Like, recording deals are like out of here. Production deals in the sense of maybe producing the videos, right? Videos are still something, but even that, they're being phased out. If this guy could handle like content creation and just master that, it's over with for these labels and YoungBoy.
$1,000 to $10,000 cost $50,000 to $100,000, with Atlantic using preferred vendors at inflated rates. This system creates perverse incentives where labels benefit from keeping artists in debt. As long as YoungBoy owed money, Atlantic kept the majority of his earnings.
He is ours. For as long as that cycle keeps going, he is your ass is mine type shit, right?
After signing with Atlantic in 2017, YoungBoy's career changed dramatically. His mixtape AI YoungBoy performed well commercially.
AI YoungBoy? I don't know that one.
And Atlantic's promotional machine got in placements and radio spins impossible to secure independently. But behind the scenes, problems emerged immediately. His organic creative process now involved multiple approval layers. A&Rs wanted input on song selection, marketing teams controlled release timing, and executives made decisions about presenting his authentic experiences to mainstream audiences. More concerning was the financial reality.
I think I need help. I got an anger problem.
You do, bro.
Despite strong performance.
No, you do. Get some help. And as I said, I relate to this boy to this man now, right? In terms of that, bro, like, you need help. I relate to your kind of energy because I share the same kind of energy, kind of, you know what I'm saying? A little bit, kind of temperature about life. I got the kind of same chip on my shoulder. I'm talking about the, you know, similarity and the intensity of the chip on the shoulder. Not the exact same chip that, you know, manifests this, you know, the same circumstances as he has to deal with. My shit is, it's like in terms of the intensity of you know what I'm saying?
Following streaming numbers, YoungBoy wasn't seeing expected money. He was still working off that initial advance, with every Atlantic expense deducted from future earnings. By 2018, the disconnect between commercial success and personal finances became impossible to ignore.
Why?
Until Death Call My Name debuted at number 7 on Billboard 200. His YouTube consistently generated millions of views. His touring sold out venues nationwide. Yet YoungBoy lived modestly compared to other artists with similar success. While Atlantic label mates posted about luxury purchases, he focused on basic financial security. This wasn't responsibility. He wasn't receiving the money his success should have generated. The breaking point came when YoungBoy researched streaming payouts and industry standards. He realized just how badly he was being exploited.
Exactly. And that's one thing that's inevitably gonna happen. You feel what I'm saying? Now this is a point to the major labels. Bro, if you think that like these young boys, like these YNs and these young rappers and artists and people like that, if you think they're never gonna wake up to the reality of like what you really are doing to them, you know what I'm saying? You're in for a fucked up ride, buddy. You feel me? Like, they always gonna grow, because like people grow up, eh? People grow the fuck up, bro. That's the reality of life. People grow up and they research whatever it is. Like, okay, somebody can get into the game not having done any homework, right? They just like, they're running away from, and I feel like this is about to be the MOS, moral of story, right? My MOS pod take, my MOS podcast take, you know what I'm saying? I think the main lesson here is the fact that what actually made YoungBoy so resilient is his running away from his own demons. You understand what I'm saying? Like, living strictly from the chip on his shoulder, where he's like, bro, I got a whole lot of babies to take care of, right? I got a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn near a whole kindergarten, you know what I'm saying? Amount of kids like that I gotta take care of. I got like a whole bunch of family members to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm myself. I am a human being, and I gotta survive. You know what I mean? I got my own mouth to feed. So it's about like running away from just like it's the survival mechanism. Let me put it like that. The survival mechanism, the running away from the demons. Yo, what the fuck is you gonna do like with all these mouths you gotta feed? Da da da. And he just like overrides his whole humanity and his whole burnout potential. You know, the potential for him to burn out and get tired. He's like, man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. You know, I'm so tired. I feel a twitch behind my left shoulder or whatever. Like I'm ignoring the shit out of that because I know I got this money to make. And so what does that do? It puts the battery on his back for him to work extra hard. You feel what I'm saying? Thank God his body can like just facilitate for all of that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? Because you try the same thing, you die on the spot, nigga. Like, let's be real. You would die. So I feel like he was just like super zoomed in and focused on just like the work ethic. He was like fucking. And I feel like that's what you know saved him for the most part. Because a whole lot of people would go ahead and complain and this, then the third after the first 4 albums. They're like, man, fuck this. Yo, this nigga went, what was it, 20 plus albums?
2019 NBA YoungBoy consistently outperformed artists considered much bigger mainstream stars on YouTube. Industry analysts estimate artists generating his streaming activities should earn $10 to $15 million annually from music alone. Yet he was seeing a fraction of that amount. Atlantic's contract structure meant the vast majority of earnings went directly to the label. Because Atlantic controlled his release schedule, they could throttle his earning potential by limiting music output. YoungBoy's work ethic became both blessing and curse. He was naturally prolific, capable of recording multiple songs daily. But Atlantic wanted to control release pace to maximize promotional.
Wait, why do they keep showing clips of Lupe Fiasco? I don't understand. Or was he also fucked by Atlantic?
Impact and avoid market oversaturation. The tension reached a boiling point in 2019 when YoungBoy began expressing frustration publicly. He started making comments about feeling restricted and wanting more creative control. Atlantic tried to manage his public statements and control his narrative. They reminded him of contractual obligations and potential consequences of speaking negatively about the label. But YoungBoy wasn't built to stay quiet about injustice. Authenticity was core to who he was. Being told to suppress honest feelings about his business situation went against everything that made him successful. In late 2020, NBA YoungBoy reached his breaking point. After years of watching his music generate massive revenue while seeing minimal financial benefit, he decided to tell the truth.
10 years old, North Baton Rouge, Chippewa 38th Street, growing up in Louisiana City.
The explosion came through Instagram, where he had built direct connection with his fan base. In a series of posts, he didn't just criticize Atlantic Records. He completely exposed their business model and warned other young artists. The most damaging statement: don't sign to Atlantic unless you want to be a slave. That word choice, slave, wasn't accidental. YoungBoy was making a deliberate comparison between Atlantic's contract structure and historical exploitation systems. Despite appearance of wealth and success, he felt trapped in a system where his labor generated massive profits for others while he remained financially dependent. He claimed Atlantic was making far more money from his music than he was, despite him being the creative force. He suggested the label's promotional promises.
It's crazy how like you have to be somebody who's like forced to see how you can handle the business of something before you can like decide, you know what, I think they playing me here, right? Before you can even realize that, nah dog, I could be doing some shit by myself, handling some shit with like a team that I can like, you know what I'm saying, outsource and whatever, blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? It's like his hand was forced into thinking like how a business would think. So for the most part, there's some good, you know what I'm saying, off of being finessed by a label. There's some good that could come out of it. Let's admit it. Because you have to be in a label that fucks you over long enough, you know, for you to even realize, nah, I am being fucked. No Vaseline. Right? You have, like, the strokes have to be so intense, bro. Like at some point you like, dog, I can't even, you know what I'm saying? I done busted like 3 nuts. This nigga still keep going. Nah, this is crazy. He ain't even bust 1 nut. And he going crazy behind there? Like, nah, bro, like, shit. What are we talking about?
Had been largely empty, and his success was primarily due to his own work ethic and direct fan connection. Most explosive was his allegation about the financial structure itself. YoungBoy implied Atlantic's business model was designed to keep artists in debt indefinitely, working constantly to pay back advances while the label collected majority revenue. He broke down exploitation mathematics in terms his young audience could understand. He explained how advances work, why recoupment keeps artists in debt, and how labels use expenses to reduce artist earnings. These weren't vague complaints. This was direct attack on Atlantic's core business model, delivered by one of their most successful artists to millions of young aspiring musicians.
Exactly. This is giving the same effect that Prince gave when he wrote "Slave" on the side of his cheek. You know what I'm saying? It gave the potential for like so much smoke on the side of the label that, you know what I'm saying? It was what it was. Okay, I didn't do enough research with the Prince situation, but sure it was bad.
Who looked up to him. The impact was immediate and devastating. YoungBoy's fan base was incredibly loyal. When he told them not to sign with Atlantic, they listened. The posts went viral within hours. Hip-hop blogs, industry publications, and made up the story. Atlantic found themselves defending their business practices publicly, something major labels typically avoid. Other artists in similar situations began paying attention. YoungBoy's willingness to speak out gave voice to frustrations many felt but were afraid to express due to contractual restrictions or retaliation.
YoungBoy never broke again, and I'm gonna tell you exactly who I am.
Over following weeks, he continued elaborating. He talked about feeling like creative output was artificially limited to serve label financial interests rather than artistic vision. He described working constantly but never getting ahead financially. Most damaging, he began breaking down actual numbers for followers. He explained streaming generation versus actual money received, how advanced systems worked, and why artists could be commercially successful while remaining financially struggling. This transparency was unprecedented. Major label artists don't discuss contract specifics publicly, but YoungBoy was focused on warning other young artists about what they were really signing up for. The educational aspect was particularly threatening to Atlantic.
Hey, shout out Russ, man. Y'all know this man's story. Right? Hey, man, y'all know this man's story. Now, I feel like it ain't no artist that has a story clean as Russ in the game, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, yo, yeah, give this man his applause, man. Come on, man, what y'all doing? Stand up, matter of fact. Stand the fuck up. Yo, shout out Russ. Like, he got it like that. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, Russ really got it from the jump, like, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know his story if y'all done enough homework and shit like that, you feel me? But yeah, bro, like, he's been smart. I would say with YoungBoy, the finesse needed to happen for him to get smarter. This man ain't need no finesse to happen type shit. Alright?
YoungBoy was systematically explaining how major label exploitation works, giving other artists knowledge to protect themselves. His posts included specific advice: get your own lawyer, don't trust the label's legal team, understand cross-collateralization, calculate potential earnings independently, and don't let desperation make you accept the first offer.
That's it.
This wasn't just an artist having a public meltdown. This was a masterclass in music industry economics delivered to exactly the demographic Atlantic depends on. Young, hungry artists from disadvantaged backgrounds, vulnerable to predatory contracts.
Bro, they feed off of that. They know, you know, young black men can't, you know, either can't read or lazy to read. Reading is not their first, like, type of primary kind of, you know, thing that they get excited to do. Like, just like, reading is just like, fuck. So they, you know what I'm saying? They leech off of that.
After YoungBoy's explosive post, Atlantic faced a choice: address his concerns or make an example of him. They chose the latter, implementing a systematic campaign to sabotage his career as warning to other artists. The blackballing wasn't obvious. Major labels are too sophisticated for crude retaliation. Instead, it was subtle, coordinated effort to limit his success while maintaining plausible deniability. First, promotional support mysteriously diminished. Before criticism, YoungBoy's releases received standard major label treatment. Playlist placements, radio promotion, social media campaigns, and streaming platform coordination. After his posts, new releases weren't getting same playlist placement levels. Radio promotion became inconsistent. Social media campaigns were scaled back or eliminated.
So they deliberately sabotaged him? What the fuck type shit is that?
Music videos weren't promoted as aggressively across Atlantic's industry network.
Oh my God.
Atlantic would argue these changes were based on performance metrics, but timing was too convenient. YoungBoy's fan base engagement hadn't decreased.
And it's like, you know, they'll have their favorite rapper, and this person fuck around and do something like just show off.
His willingness to speak truth had strengthened his core audience connection. Streaming numbers remained strong. YouTube views continued growing organically. But organic success can only take an artist so far when fighting against industry machinery designed to control which artists achieve mainstream breakthrough. Most insidious was how they manipulated chart performance. Chart positions aren't just about sales and streams. They're about which sales get counted and how they're weighted. Major labels have relationships with chart compilers like Billboard that allow them to influence how artists' performance gets measured. They can choose which song versions to promote, structure release strategies for maximum chart impact, and coordinate promotional pushes. For compliant artists, labels use these relationships to boost chart performance. For rebellious artists, they do the opposite. Structure releases to minimize chart impact or simply not implement promotional strategies that would maximize performance.
And I guess he was the rebellious artist, right? YoungBoy, that is. I mean, he started waking up. It's like waking up out of the Matrix. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know what they do to people that like want to get out of a structure that, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me not even get let me not get y'all started about the Illuminati and shit, goddamn.
Maintaining strong streaming numbers and fan engagement, YoungBoy's chart performance began suffering in ways that didn't align with his actual popularity. The impact extended beyond chart positions. Award show nominations became scarce. Television performance opportunities dried up. Collaboration opportunities with other major label artists were discouraged or blocked. Atlantic was using industry influence to create artificial ceiling on YoungBoy's success. They couldn't stop his core fan base support, but they could prevent him from reaching broader...
Bro, so they actually started just like sabotaging this man's trajectory towards like success and shit. Like, man, fuck this applause, man. What the hell? Forgot to switch off the soundbite, my fault. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, since that's the case, right? I feel like these labels should like I don't know, maybe work with the artist as long as they are, you know, sleep to their own potential. Yeah, because I feel like that's the only plan that could work. Or as long as they are dumb to their own potential, I feel like we winning. And then by the time they spot that, nah, I think they waking up. Wait. Go get him. Get in. I think he's waking up. I think he's realizing what the fuck we're doing. Like, come on, like, run, get it, like, quick. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when you stop the operation. You're like, yo, they getting too smart for their boots, for their own, you know what I'm saying? Good. Let's stop the operation. Because obviously, bro, you're gonna want to insist to like keep this artist down and keep this artist controlled. Bro, this artist is gonna be the most problematic artist for y'all then. You know what I'm saying?
Mainstream audience.
Like somebody that has woken up from the Matrix, he's finna be a problem to the system because he's gonna want to wake up everybody else. Facts.
That would translate to significantly higher earnings.
Yep.
I don't know.
What do you
like,
if he wants the hat, he can take the hat.
Jason is dude.
Let him take the hat.
Most damaging was how this affected his relationship with streaming platforms. Major labels negotiate terms under which artists' music appears on platforms, including promotional placement, algorithmic boosting, and featured positioning. When Atlantic decided to retaliate, they began negotiating less favorable terms for his music. His songs weren't getting same algorithmic promotion levels. His music wasn't featured as prominent playlists. His content wasn't recommended as aggressively to potential new fans. This created vicious cycles where reduced platform support led to slower new fan acquisition growth,
I
which
can see that
Atlantic
happening.
could point to as justification for further reducing promotional support. But Atlantic's retaliation served a purpose beyond punishing YoungBoy. It was a message to every other artist on their roster. The subtext was clear. This is what happens when you criticize the label publicly. Other Atlantic artists were watching, and the message was received. Speaking out
So it's like they were even determined to make an example out of him, bro.
wasn't just career suicide. It was guaranteed path to industry exile.
Right.
The most frustrating aspect for YoungBoy was that his music quality never declined. If anything, adversity made him more focused and creative. His work ethic remained incredible, his core fan base connection grew stronger, and artistic output continued being prolific and authentic. But none of that mattered when fighting against coordinated industry effort to limit success. Chapter 6, the grind continues.
It has to.
What makes YoungBoy's story remarkable is how he responded to Atlantic's systematic sabotage.
How he respond?
Instead of being broken by industry retaliation, he outworked the sabotage.
That's what I'm saying, bro. YoungBoy was probably one of those people that like looked at. He was like, "Yo, I see the kind of fucking fuckery that you niggas is on, but yo, yeah, I swear to God, yo, my demons is chasing me faster than y'all niggas' problems is like catching up to me, like facts, like." Oh, I don't know, shit. I recognize everything. Like I realize everything, bruh. Y'all niggas are snakes. But you know what? Since this is an opportunity for as long as I can outpace y'all, I can, because like if we look at it, like YoungBoy is still winning, bro. Like consider, like do your homework, right? Consider, you know, the pace at which he's running. You know what I'm saying? And he's still winning. Like my point is, he's still winning. You know what I'm saying? Okay, nah, wrong one. He's still winning. There we go. He's still winning though, even with this whole label situation, and we know shit ain't sweet by him over there, but like he's still going crazy. Like his whole, like me, bro, like I tapped into YoungBoy shit. I've been aware of YoungBoy for a very long time. I feel like 8 years plus, maybe 6 years plus now. But I really just even tapped into the music like from 2 years ago, literally. That was the first time I tapped into his music, like 2 years ago. So that's like, to me at least, that's clear that, you know what I'm saying, he's still like, his music is still like doing what it's supposed to do. It's reaching people. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like he just needs to harness that energy of reaching people and just like taking control of it himself instead of letting the label run it. And I feel like it's a battle of just like that kind of realization and how he could take control of that kind of reality at the end of the day, because like it's still green lights for him. Like he could still move like as really a force to be reckoned with in this game as YoungBoy, even with the whole degenerate situation with the label, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Because as I say, like his demons are that loud. Not demons, man, but like his responsibilities, and like he probably, like the way shit is moving, I don't even think that he wants to be in the studio half as much as he actually is. You know what I'm saying? And delivering, you know, the product at the amount at which he is half of the amount of, the fuck am I trying to say? So he's not trying to, I don't think it's fun anymore for him to move at this rate, really. I don't think it's fun. Like, this guy is just like, is a workhorse, bro. Like, he works overly, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Throughout 2021 and 2022, while Atlantic actively limited promotional support, YoungBoy maintained incredible creative output.
What else?
He was releasing projects consistently,
What
often
else?
surprising fans with new music unexpectedly.
What else?
I don't know how to play.
You don't know how to play, so you just gonna be bench warming?
Yep.
But this wasn't just quantity. Quality remained consistently high.
Yeah.
Songs like White Teeth, Nevada, and House Arrest Tings showed an artist channeling frustration and adversity into increasingly sophisticated music.
Nice.
What Atlantic hadn't anticipated was how their retaliation would strengthen YoungBoy's core fan base connection. His supporters weren't casual listeners who could be swayed by reduced radio play. They were deeply invested in his story and struggle against industry exploitation.
Yeah.
When fans saw his music wasn't getting same promotional treatment as other Atlantic artists, they compensated themselves.
Why?
They streamed more intensively, shared more aggressively on social media, and created their own promotional campaigns. This organic fan support created interesting dynamics where YoungBoy's commercial performance remained strong despite Atlantic's reduced efforts. YouTube views continued climbing, streaming numbers stayed competitive, and touring continued selling well. He was succeeding in spite of his label rather than because of them.
That's
but
good.
Financial impact of Atlantic's retaliation was still significant.
There we go. That financial channel, he just gotta get that right?
Promotional support,
that income
new
sheet,
fan acquisition growth, fewer collaboration opportunities, and limited mainstream recognition. Most importantly, artificial constraints on success were costing him money directly. Every stream he didn't get due to reduced playlist placement, every fan he didn't acquire due to limited promotional reach, all represented lost revenue.
Yeah,
The situation created perverse dynamics where Atlantic was sabotaging their own financial interests to make points about artist compliance. They were willing to sacrifice potential profits from one of their most successful artists to maintain authority and discourage other artists from similar rebellion. Throughout this period, YoungBoy continued being vocal about his situation, though he became more strategic. Rather than explosive social media posts, he began incorporating industry criticism into his music itself. This approach was particularly effective because it was harder for Atlantic to retaliate against. They couldn't prevent him from expressing views in music without violating creative freedom. The educational aspect of his music during this period was remarkable.
The educational aspect, I like that shit. I like that shit.
He was conducting masterclass in music industry economics through songs, explaining concepts like recoupment.
What the fuck? I never knew that. I never knew that. This man dropped some courses on how to just. YoungBoy you know what I'm saying? YoungBoy the lecturer, man. Come on, man. Damn, I never knew this.
Collateralization and promotional manipulation in terms his young audience could understand. This wasn't just artistic expression, it was activism. YoungBoy was using his platform to protect other artists from same exploitation he experienced.
That's valuable.
But most significant development was YoungBoy's growing focus on contractual obligations and timeline. He understood the only real escape from Atlantic's control was fulfilling contract requirements and regaining freedom. This created interesting motivation dynamics where his desire for freedom drove even higher productivity levels. He wasn't just working to satisfy Atlantic's requirements, he was working to accelerate his path to independence.
That's nice.
By late 2022, it was becoming clear that YoungBoy's Atlantic contract was approaching its end. Industry observers began speculating about what would happen next. By mid to late 2022, NBA YoungBoy was finally approaching contractual freedom. The completion of his Atlantic contract was testament to incredible work ethic and resilience. Despite facing industry retaliation and reduced promotional support, he had delivered every project and fulfilled every obligation. But Atlantic wasn't ready to let him go without a fight. As contract expiration approached, they began a retention campaign, attempting to convince him to re-sign under new terms addressing some previous concerns while keeping him within their corporate structure.
Oh my God, of course they're gonna do that. Of course they're gonna try and convince the artist to stay, bruh. Because, hey, as I said, man, like, whatever was driving this man was, like, beyond whatever he understood. The limited, you know what I'm saying? The little that he understood off of that contract. You know what I'm saying? Like his energy just went beyond that. And I feel like the label was impressed by that. It's crazy.
The offer they presented was reportedly in the $25 million range, a significant increase.
We gotta understand it's $25 million to, like, projected for the label, not for the artist. It's never like these numbers that are projected like this. They're never for the artist. We gotta understand that they're for the label, and whatever fraction is calculated to be allocated to you, the artist, That's what you're getting. That's it. That's all. What are we talking about?
Reflecting both his proven commercial success and Atlantic's desperation to retain one of their most valuable assets.
Of course.
On paper, it looked like substantial improvement over previous contract terms.
Yeah.
The advance was larger, royalty percentages slightly better, and there were provisions for increased creative input on marketing strategies. But YoungBoy
shit, so you're telling me they wanted him to be even more creative than he was? The quantity of the creativity literally outpaced the label's vision, bro. Now they want him to be more creative. These motherfuckers is demons. They leeches. Facts.
He learned too much about the music industry to be impressed by large advance numbers.
Yeah.
He understood real value of any record deal isn't in upfront money.
That's
it's
crazy.
in ongoing revenue splits, creative control provisions, and long-term financial structure.
That's right.
More importantly, he had experienced firsthand what happens when major label artists step out of line. He had seen how Atlantic was willing to sabotage their own financial interests to maintain control. Why would he trust them not to retaliate again if future disagreements arose? The $25 million offer, while substantial, came with same fundamental problems. Atlantic would still control majority of his revenue stream.
Shit, of course.
They would still have final say over release schedule and promotional strategy.
Of course.
Most critically, re-signing with Atlantic would validate their retaliation campaign and send message to other artists that speaking out against label exploitation ultimately doesn't matter. YoungBoy's rejection of Atlantic's re-signing offer was about more than business terms.
Nice, nice, man. You see what I'm saying? I feel like this whole finesse made the boy smarter, man. So I feel like he deserves one of these right here. It made him smarter. W's. Come on. What are we talking about? And as I said, bro, like I want, like, you see these labels that like keep these kind of artists like YoungBoy. Yes, when he was 17, that was back when he was 17. It's literally 10 years later. Let's wake up. He's gonna get smarter. He's gonna get smarter, dog. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. My fault. Yo, he's finna get smarter about shit, bro. What the hell is niggas expecting, bro? You know what I'm saying? I feel like, what have I heard? I think I heard that, you know what I'm saying, the human brain develops, well, it stops developing after 25 years of age. You know what I'm saying? He got signed at 17. You didn't think he was gonna get smarter about shit? Especially about the snaking type shit that y'all on?
Artistic integrity and personal dignity. He was choosing potential financial uncertainty over guaranteed exploitation.
Let's do it.
The decision also reflected his understanding of how the music industry had changed during his Atlantic years.
Exactly. He's being professional. Like he's gonna grow more and more professional as times move.
Streaming platforms had democratized music distribution somewhat. Social media had created direct artist-to-fan communication channels.
Yeah.
Most importantly, YoungBoy had built something more valuable than any contract.
Nice.
A deeply loyal fan base that would support him regardless of label situation.
Beautiful.
Atlantic's failed retention attempt revealed several important things. First, it showed their retaliation campaign had been counterproductive from pure business perspective.
What else?
They had spent years undermining one of their most successful artists, only to offer significantly more money to stay.
What else?
Essentially admitting previous treatment had been unfair. Second, it demonstrated that major labels view artist relationships as fundamentally transactional.
Okay.
Atlantic's approach wasn't to apologize for previous behavior.
Yeah.
It was simply to offer more money and hope that would maintain compliance.
I see that.
Third, it revealed how much financial value YoungBoy represented. The $25 million offer wasn't just about retaining future music. It was about preventing him from proving major label artists could succeed independently. When NBA YoungBoy walked away from Atlantic and their $25 million offer,
What happened?
he was conducting an experiment.
What happened?
Could an artist systematically sabotaged by a major label maintain commercial success independently?
Good
the stakes
question.
couldn't have been higher. If YoungBoy failed to maintain commercial momentum without Atlantic's resource,
It would prove that Atlantic was right in what they were doing, right? I say he was successful. Let's see if he
it would
was.
validate the major label system. But if he succeeded, it would demonstrate that major label
I say he succeeded.
control over artists' careers was more about maintaining power structures than providing irreplaceable value.
Okay.
The first challenge was distribution. YoungBoy needed distribution partners who could get his music onto all major platforms without promotional disadvantages. The solution came through strategic partnerships with independent distribution companies specializing in hip-hop that had platform relationships but weren't beholden to major label politics. These partnerships allowed him to maintain control while accessing technical infrastructure needed for global distribution. More importantly, these partnerships didn't come with exploitative financial terms.
What did it come with?
Instead of giving up 80 to 85% of revenue, YoungBoy could retain majority earnings while paying reasonable fees for specific services.
What else?
The second challenge was promotion. YoungBoy's approach was doubling down on direct artist-to-fan connection that had sustained
DTC, direct to consumer. Let's get it.
him throughout Atlantic's sabotage. Rather than trying to replicate major label promotional strategies, he focused on channels where his fan relationship was strongest.
That's it. And look, man, I feel like as an independent artist, that's the only thing that you have to like focus on. You know what I'm saying? Like just the engagement of your fans. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just like try and double down on just like strategies on how, you know what I'm saying, to promote this and that and the third, and you know what I'm saying, you know, associate yourself with this, that, and the third brand, and you know what I'm saying, this charity. That it's like, nah, bro, it's just me and my connection with my fans. And things like, you know what I'm saying, this YouTube, you know, the YouTube algorithm system and YouTube studios and all of that, like, can give you a clear picture of your analytics to see who, like, your fan is, like, you know what I'm saying, exactly. You know what I mean? And if you know exactly what kind of fan you focused on, like, you won't be focused on the extras of, like, yo, let's get that fan's sister, and you know, let's get that fan's cousin. You know what I'm saying? Let's get their family member. Of which that, it can have a benefit of its own. It can make you a household brand if we can cater to the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You cater to the whole family. The whole family lives in one household. You're a household brand. Let's go. It sounds attractive, right? But now I feel like with the journey of the independent artist, bro, like, you don't need none of that, right? You need, for as long as your DTC, your direct to consumer kind of channel is pretty consistent and sustainable and all of that, you should be alright, bro.
YouTube, social media, and live
that's
performance.
That's it.
His YouTube strategy was particularly sophisticated. Instead of relying on platform promotion, he focused on creating content his existing fan base would engage with intensively. High engagement rates from core audience would signal to YouTube's algorithm that his content was valuable, leading to broader organic promotion. The approach worked remarkably well.
Beautiful.
His first independent releases generated millions of views within days,
often
outperforming major
this nigga really got smart off of that shit.
label artists with significantly larger promotional budgets. The financial results were remarkable. Without Atlantic taking 80 to 85% of revenue, YoungBoy could retain majority of streaming income, merchandise sales, and touring profits. Industry analysts estimated his per-stream earnings increased by 300 to 400% compared to his Atlantic deal. But most important validation came from streaming numbers and chart performance. Despite predictions he would struggle without major label support, his independent releases consistently performed well commercially. Songs like his independent releases were proving major label promotional machinery, while helpful, wasn't essential for commercial success. Quality music combined with authentic fan relationships could generate substantial commercial results without corporate intermediaries taking majority profits. The success of his independent experiment began attracting attention from other artists dealing with similar major label frustrations. Most importantly, other Atlantic artists were watching closely.
Who's that?
Atlantic, meanwhile, was dealing with uncomfortable reality that their former artist was proving their business model wasn't as essential as they claimed. Every successful independent release from YoungBoy was essentially case study in how artists could bypass major label control while maintaining commercial viability. NBA YoungBoy's successful transition to independence fundamentally changed the conversation about artist rights and major label necessity throughout the hip-hop industry and beyond. The ripple effects began immediately. Other artists started publicly referencing YoungBoy's example when discussing their own contract frustrations. His willingness to walk away from
this nigga changed the history of this shit.
Guaranteed money in favor of independence became talking point in industry circles. More significantly, his financial success as independent artist provided concrete evidence that major label resources, while valuable, weren't worth exploitative terms that typically came with them. The educational impact was particularly important. Throughout his Atlantic years and transition to independence, YoungBoy had been consistently transparent about business realities he was experiencing. His willingness to discuss contract terms, revenue splits, and industry manipulation had created a generation of more informed artists and fans.
As it should.
Young artists who might have previously signed the first major label deal offered were now asking more sophisticated questions about contract terms, recoupment structures, and long-term financial implications.
Beautiful.
Legal experts and artist advocates began using his case as example when discussing need for industry reform. His experience demonstrated how major label contracts could be structured to appear generous while actually being exploitative. But most significant impact was on other Atlantic Records artists. YoungBoy's success had proven that labels' retaliation tactics, while damaging, weren't career-ending for artists with strong fan relationships and business acumen. Several Atlantic artists began making more subtle references to contract frustrations in their music and interviews. The increased willingness to discuss business issues publicly represented shift in traditional power dynamic between artists and labels. Atlantic found themselves dealing with more educated and assertive roster of artists who were aware of alternative options and less willing to accept exploitative terms without question. Other major labels were experiencing similar pressures. Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and their...
they were all reconstructing their strategies and visions about signing artists based off of just like YoungBoy's experience.
Subsidiaries all had to contend with artists who were more aware of industry alternatives. Independent distribution companies began marketing their services more aggressively to major label artists, using YoungBoy's success as case study for how artists could maintain commercial viability while retaining control. But perhaps most important long-term impact was cultural. YoungBoy's journey from exploitation to independence became symbol of artistic integrity and business acumen within hip-hop culture. This cultural shift influenced how success was measured within hip-hop communities. Financial independence and artistic control became markers of achievement alongside traditional metrics like chart positions and award nominations.
Look, man, I feel like we all get the point of the experience right here, right? Of this case study of YoungBoy right quick, right? You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful video. I like this, you know what I'm saying? Because YoungBoy's case study can really free a whole lot of artists out here, you know what I'm saying? A video by Hip Hop History. Y'all can go check it out. Hip Hop History, how Atlantic Records finessed NBA YoungBoy out of $300 million. Right, let me go ahead and give this a like. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, give it a like, give it a subscribe. I'm not subscribing right here because this is not the channel to subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I focus my niche content reaction videos based off of, yeah, they have to drop on specific channels. So this is not the channel that this video is going to be broadcast through, right? But you know, on the video that it's supposed to be broadcast through, I'm subscribed on there. So I wouldn't just like ask y'all to subscribe if I'm not subscribed. This is great. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like since we got the point of what's going on right here, I don't want to complete the whole video. If y'all want to see the whole complete video, y'all know how I work. I don't want to just replicate the man's work and say, this is my video, everybody. Nah, if you want to just listen to this thing yourself without any pauses, any disturbances, any opinions shared and shit like that, go ahead and give this video a watch, man. You know what I'm saying? A view. With that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hop on to our sponsors for the day. You know what I'm saying? Give y'all a little word from our sponsors before we get into the MOS and what we can learn and chop that down right quick from this YoungBoy situation, right? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, shout out y'all for like just kicking it with me right here. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm finna hop straight into the word from our sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Word from our sponsors right quick, and I'll see you on the other side. Shall we?
Well, smart to these dumb nugs, y'all flowing. Jack, give me the loot. Who got the key to the zoo? Mama, she lying. Daddy too weak for the truth. Man, got his nerve. No sir, pull out for your purge. Bitch, tell your shit. Sit there, shit fuck. Y'all ain't drunk on shit. Either the sun, run up a leg. Whichever you think counts, make it legit. Already know I'm designer, my type of cloth ain't a misfit. I just mean like I'm an honor, give it the time and the dick. I'd rather you keep it 1,000. I smack all that cap off your lip. Look at the dumb, make a script with the dollar. So after we fuck out the dick, catch your feet. If you don't mind, get the fuck out my way.